Hello, my name is Luxin and welcome in this video about Divinity Original Sin 2. In this guide I will show you how to modify the bonus for character and items using the EXIM mod. So I already prepared a character sheet for LOSA. Remember that when you save a character sheet using the saving stone or the NPC control tools in GM mod, it is saved in Documents, Larian Studios, Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition, Other with Data. So here is the LOSA cross save. I'm going to load it using the loading stone, and here we go. With EXIM you can pretty much change almost anything in attributes, combat abilities, civil abilities and talents. For that you simply need to open the cross save file with a text editor. The cross save file is divided into 4 parts. The first part is data, that is about abilities, attributes, civil abilities, some miscellaneous stuff and talents. Second part is hotbar. The third part is the inventory. And the last part is skills. Keep in mind that the names you can see on the car sheets can be different from the one you can see in game. This is mainly because the car sheets use the engine name. So if you want to change something, you simply need to find the corresponding field and change the value. For example, I will try to change the maximum source points. So I need to change the max MP fields. I will change it from 3 to 9. Get back into the game and load. And you can see that I have 9 source points now. If you want to change a character level, you need to change the experience field. The level field is still not used. To know how many experience you need to reach certain level, you can go online and find a scale that is describing how many experience you need for each level. For example, we already have a level 14 LOSA. Let's say that I want to downgrade her to like level 12. So I need to put this amount of experience. I copy it, get back to the sheets, and I pass the value while removing the commas. Save, load, and now we have a level 12 LOSA. You can pretty much do the same thing with items. Since character sheets can be really large because of a large inventory, I highly suggest you to keep track of your items. So for example, I want to modify this sword. So this is a 100 sword, level 16 in epic quality. So we'll be looking after that in the character sheets. So here we are. The equipment field here is empty because it's referring to equipment that are in the inventory and not equipped. You can also modify items. They are represented by their template name in the engine along with their stats ID. You can also change a quantity if you want. All equipped items are under LX saving patch equipment. So we are looking for our sword. So robe, mage bands. Oh, weapon sword 100. Epic quality level 16. So this is the sword we are looking for. There are two types of boosts. The first type is permanent boosts. Those are mainly the boosts you will be using most of the times. You can see already here 3 empty boosts, but there are in fact a lot more of them. To know what field you can modify in boosts, you can go online on the extender documentation, search for items, and then scroll down a bit and find permanent boosts. This table describes all fields you can modify on an equipment piece. So for example, let's say that I want more maximum AP on my sword. So I'll be using that field. You simply need to add a comma. Alright, max AP. And let's say that I want 3 of them. Save. Get back into the game and load. And you can see that the boost is now on the sword. Now the second type of boost. The second type of boost is called delta modifiers. Those are the boosts that are generated when an item is created. So basically they use a naming convention used in the engine. It's quite simple. You start with boost, the type of item, the type of boost, and eventually the properties of it. So you will be using delta mods in 4 conditions. Actually 3 of them. The first is you want to add some elemental damage, like on this sword. The second type is if you want to add some immunities on piece of armor. And the last type is if you want to add some set status. For example, set cripple for 1 turn. So I'll take the example of adding elemental damage. So I'm going to write boost, weapon, damage. Let's say that I want some fire damage, so it's a fire. Then it's the strength of the boost. There are 3 scales. The first one is just nothing. Second one is medium, and the last one is large. So I'm greedy, I will be using large. And then the type of weapon, sword. Some delta mods can be stacked. So if you want some more of elemental damage, you can stack the corresponding delta mods. So let's say that here I want to be really greedy and I want to stack 3 fire elemental damage boosts. Save. Get back into the game. And you'll see that the sword now deals fire damage. You could also convert the base damage of an item. It's really useful, especially in GM mode when you need to change permanently the element of a staff or a wand. For that, you need to refer yourself to damage types. Those are all damage types you can find in game. You can modify it. Go into permanent boost, add a comma, damage type. And you need to type the number of what damage type you want. So for example, let's say that I want to deal chaos damage. Chaos damage is actually a random type of damage. So chaos damage is 5. So we'll be typing 5, save, and load. And you see that now the base damage is chaos. So that's pretty much what I needed to explain concerning character bonus and item bonus. So now I'm going to talk about the particularities of the GM mod concerning EXIM. The first thing to note is that you can't use NPCs to load attributes, combat abilities, civil abilities and talents. However, their inventories can be saved and loaded fine. This is not really a problem since a GM can easily set manually all the stats, and that when you reload a map, the stats often get reloaded. However, if you really need to save and load this part of the sheet for NPC, there's a workaround for that. Since EXIM mod require NPC control tool, you can use the select option, go to GM tools, make player character, and then you can save and load the character. So here we're going to export it. Once you're done, you can turn it into NPC again. Please keep in mind that making player character and making NPC are still experimental features. So I still don't completely know what can be the consequence of that. Second particularity is that EXIM mods disable item folding. Item folding is a hidden process of the original game concerning Game Master mode. It basically replaced Delta mods with permanent boosts. So here we can see in the inventory of this lizard some delta mods. However, the downside of this is that some delta mods can't be converted. So in GM mod you basically can't have any weapon with additional elemental damage, set status, or immunities or on armor. Since EXIM disable it, you will now be able to have this kind of boost on items. So now I'm going to generate a chain helmet with divine quality. So divine quality pretty much guarantee you that you will have a skill on an immunity. So here we are. We have a skill that is peace of mind. In the GM panel you can manage items, you can manage their bonus normally, like before. It is just concerning the bonus I was talking before, and concerning skills that get generated, you can't erase them. So in case you need to erase skills or immunities or status from weapons, you can just put them into an NPC inventory, save them, go check their character sheets. So we're going to look here. So that's the helmet we're looking for. And you'll see in the delta mods that skill is granted by this one. If you want to remove it, that's simple. You just erase the line and don't forget to also erase the comma. That's pretty much the same way for status and immunities and elemental damage. So once you're done, you can just select your character again and import it. And you'll see that the skill is gone. That's pretty much everything I had to tell about the particularities of the GM mod. So thanks for watching. If you have any question about the mod or how it's working, you can just ask it on the mod page on Steam, on the threads on it, or directly ask me the question on Steam.